Welcome back to the Microsoft AI Adoption Accelerator. This is episode 10, the final episode, Sustaining and Evolving with Agents. 9 episodes in, you have a vision, a use case library, a champion network, prompt fluency, a trust posture, a measurement framework, and a scale operating model. The pilot worked. The scale rollout is delivering. Year 2 is funded. And then the next wave lands. Agents, autonomous workflows that act on your behalf. Same trust signals matter. The operating model evolves again. Today is about how to sustain the momentum you have built and how to make this rollout future-proof rather than rebuilding it every 2 years when the technology shifts. Let's bring it home. A quick look at where we have been. Episode 1, Why AI Adoption is Different from Anything You Have Rolled Out Before. Episode 2, The Microsoft Copilot Adoption Framework. Envision, Onboard, Drive Value. Episode 3, Vision and Business Case. Episode 4, Use Case Discovery That Actually Works. Episode 5, Building a Champions Network. Episode 6, Prompt Literacy and Skill Building. Episode 7, Trust, Data, and Responsible AI. Episode 8, Measuring Value with the Copilot Dashboard. Episode 9, Scaling Beyond the Pilot. 9 episodes, 1 foundation. Vision, use cases, champions, fluency, trust, measurement, scale. The platform you have built is what makes everything next possible. Today's episode is about what you do with that platform when the technology underneath it changes, and it will. The next wave. Agents. Here is the leverage shift in one figure. The assistant era, Copilot in Word, Copilot in Outlook, Copilot in Teams, gave a person roughly 2 times the output of a person without it. Real, measurable, repeatable. The agent era is different. A person directs several agents, each running standing instructions, each handling a multi-step workflow, each operating across systems and time. That shifts the leverage to roughly 10 times. Not by making a person 10 times faster, but by letting a person own 10 parallel streams of work. This is not a feature update. This is a shift in the unit of work. The assistant amplifies one person's keystrokes. The agent owns an outcome on that person's behalf. The platform you built in 9 episodes, vision, champions, trust, measurement, is exactly what makes the agent era safe to roll out. The teams that built no platform are about to discover why year 3 goes badly. 5 things change when you move from assistant to agent. Engineer for them deliberately. 1. Initiation. Assistants are prompted by a human every time. Agents run on standing instructions, a brief written once, triggered by events, time, or thresholds. 2. Duration. Assistants work in a single turn. Agents run across many steps, often over hours, sometimes across days. The window of supervision changes from every turn to every cycle. 3. Memory. Assistants are stateless. They forget the previous conversation by default. Agents are stateful. They hold persistent context across runs. That is more powerful and more dangerous and worth designing for explicitly. 4. Reach. Assistants act inside one application. Agents act across applications, data sources, and systems of record. The trust posture has to extend to every surface the agent can touch. 5. Supervision. Assistants are reviewed turn by turn. Agents are audited by sample. Too many actions, too quickly for a human to read everyone. The 5 trust signals from episode 7 still apply. The bar moves higher because the actions are bigger. The foundation does not change. The unit of work does. Engineer for it. 5 sustaining principles. Build the platform once. Reskin it every wave. 1. Platform, not project. Stop running adoption as a program with an end date. The capability layer is permanent. Vision, champions, trust signals, measurement, federated operating model. The use cases on top of it rotate. The mindset shift is from we finish the rollout to we run the platform. 2. Capability horizon. Track Microsoft's roadmap quarterly. Don't react to every announcement. That is the path to fire drills and exhausted teams. Categorize, prioritize, fold the relevant ones into the next planning cycle. The teams that pivot every release ship nothing. 3. Reusable foundations. The Champion Network from Episode 5 works for assistants, agents, and whatever comes next. The trust signals from Episode 7 cover every model. The telemetry from Episode 8 reads every wave. These are platform assets. They survive every model and feature shift. 4. Use case turnover. Retire stale use cases as fast as you launch new ones. A pattern that worked in 2025 may be obsolete in 2027. The library is alive. Old patterns drag the average down and confuse new users. 5. Executive stamina. Year 3 is harder than year 1. Sponsor renewal, refreshed narrative, new outcomes. Schedule the energy in, don't hope for it. The teams that treat this as a platform outlast every model release. The teams that treat it as a project ship once and stop. 3 categories of agent. Different jobs, different controls. Sequence the rollout deliberately. Category 1. Information agents. Retrieve and synthesize. A standing brief on a customer, a market, a topic. Reads many sources, returns one summary. Refreshes itself on a schedule. Lowest risk. Start here. The error mode is a poor summary, not a wrong action. Category 2. Coordination agents. Schedule and route. Triage inbound. Route work. Schedule follow-ups. Update queues. Maintain calendars. Touches CRM. Work management. Calendars. Medium risk. Needs guardrails because mistakes affect other people's time. Category 3. Execution agents. Take action on systems of record. Submit, approve, file, post, update. Highest risk. Full audit, supervised rollout, narrow scope before broad scope. Do not start your agent journey here. Sequence the rollout, information, then coordination, then execution. Same logic as Episode 9. Match the loop to the stakes. The teams that lead with execution agents because they are the most exciting are the teams that make the front page for the wrong reason. Information first. Earn the right to coordination. Earn the right to execution. Trust signals. Evolved for agents. Same 5 from Episode 7. Higher resolution. 1. Grounding. Citations on every step, not just the final answer. The agent's reasoning trail is the audit trail. If the agent took an action, you must be able to ask, what did it read? What did it conclude? What did it do? Why? 2. Data boundaries. Permissions travel with the agent across every system it touches. Identity is the boundary even when the user is asleep. The agent acts on the user's behalf with the user's identity and inherits exactly that user's access, no more. 3. Autonomy scope. What the agent can decide, in what range, before it must escalate. Written, signed, reviewed, never inferred. The autonomy spec is the most important document in the agent rollout and the one most likely to be skipped. 4. Human checkpoints. Defined moments where the agent stops and asks. Higher stakes, more checkpoints. Designed in, not bolted on. The instinct will be to remove them as confidence grows. Resist that instinct longer than feels comfortable. 5. Audit by sample. Reviewing every agent action does not scale. Sample 1 in N, weighted by risk, not by volume. Publish the findings to the Trust Forum from Episode 7. The Episode 7 framework still applies. The signals haven't changed. The bar has, because the actions are bigger and the consequences are faster. The champion role evolves into something new, the agent steward. Today, the champion coaches prompts, demos use cases, spots blockers, surfaces emergent patterns. Recognized in performance reviews. 2 days a month protected. The role works because the unit of work is one prompt at a time. As agents arrive, the champion role evolves into agent steward. The agent steward designs and scopes the agents inside the team. They write the autonomy specification, what the agent can do, in what range, with what guardrails. They review sampled agent actions weekly for accuracy, for tone, for drift. They tune the prompts and instructions over time. They escalate when something looks wrong. The rollout that has a champion network already has the chassis for an agent steward network. The rollout without champions tries to introduce stewards from cold and discovers that the work is easier if you start one episode earlier. Same person, bigger job, recognized and budgeted formally. Measurement evolves for agents. Episode 8 gave you 4 metrics: adoption depth, time reclaimed, outcome shift, sentiment trajectory. They still apply. 3 more sit on top, specifically for agents. 1. Actions completed. How many tasks the agent finished without human touch in a given week? The volume metric sets the denominator for everything else. 2. Accept rate. Of agent outputs reviewed or shipped, the share humans accepted unchanged. The trust signal expressed in numbers. Below 70%, your autonomy scope is too wide or your prompt is wrong. Above 95, your autonomy scope is probably too narrow and you are not getting the leverage. 3. Outcome owned. The business metric the agent was deployed to move. Cycle time, resolution rate, throughput, response time. Same logic as episode 8. The honest discount still applies. Hours saved still matters. But for agents, the headline metric is what shipped and what the human did not have to touch. The CFO conversation moves from hours per person to outcomes per agent. The team that runs that meeting well in year 3 earns the year 4 budget. The sustain rhythm. Quarterly, annually, always on. Quarterly, capability review, Microsoft's roadmap, internal pipeline, retire stale use cases, promote emergent ones. 2 hours, same room, same people, same shape every quarter. Predictable cadence is what makes the rollout calm. Annually, recharter. Refresh the vision. Refresh the use case portfolio. Refresh the trust posture. Refresh the operating model. Re-sign the sponsor. Re-budget. Republish the narrative. The annual recharter is what stops the rollout becoming last year's project and what restarts the storyline for the next year. Always on, the platform team. The center of excellence that started in episode 9 becomes the permanent team. Small, senior, federated, stops measuring rollout, starts running the platform. The team is no longer the Copilot team, it is the AI capability team, and it owns the platform across whatever the technology becomes next. The rhythm is what makes it sustainable. Heroics are not a strategy, cadence is. 3 patterns that survive every platform shift. Pattern 1, abstract the outcome. The trap is to pin the rollout to today's tool. We use Copilot in Word for this. We use Copilot in Excel for that. 2 years from now, the tool changes, and the use cases have to be rewritten. The fix is to define use cases by the outcome they deliver. Proposal turnaround under 3 days. First call resolution above 75%. The outcome outlives the feature. The surface changes underneath. The user experience improves. The use case stays valid. Pattern 2, model agnostic trust. The trap is rewriting governance every release. Every time a new model lands, the legal team starts again. The risk register is rebuilt. The policies are republished. The fix is to write the trust signals once, grounding, boundaries, scope, checkpoints, audit, and apply them to every model and feature. Episode 7 is your specification. The model changes, the spec does not. Pattern 3, rotate the library. The trap is a use case library that only grows. Every new pattern gets added, nothing gets retired. By year 3, the library is full of obsolete entries that confuse new users and drag the average down. The fix is to retire as fast as you launch. Curate the library. Don't archive it. The platforms shift. The patterns hold. That is the difference between rebuilding every 2 years and compounding for 10. 3 traps that kill sustainability. Everyone fatal in year 3. Trap 1, project mindset. We finished the rollout last year. The program team is disbanded. champions are reabsorbed, telemetry is stale, documentation is 6 months old. When the next wave lands, agents, or the wave after agents, there is no one to receive it. The rollout has to be rebuilt from scratch under time pressure. Result: 18 months of rebuilding before any new value lands. Treat it as platform from day one, and that rebuild never happens. Trap 2. Feature chasing. Microsoft just announced something. Pivot. Every release becomes a fire drill. The roadmap thrashes. The team is exhausted. Nothing finishes. The rollout looks busy and accomplishes very little. Categorize announcements quarterly. Don't react to them weekly. Pick the ones that align with your use cases. Defer the rest. Trap 3. Hero dependent. This works because Sarah runs it. Sarah is the program lead, the chief champion, the trust forum chair, the executive translator, and the dashboard reader. Sarah is brilliant, and Sarah leaves eventually. The rollout collapses inside 2 quarters. The team that depends on a hero has no platform. Document, federate, design for survivability. The first sign you have a healthy rollout is that the rollout survives the program lead's holiday. The second sign is that it survives their next role. 3 takeaways from the whole series. 1. Adoption is a platform. Vision, champions, fluency, trust, measurement, scale. The capability layer is permanent. The use cases on top of it rotate. Build it once, reskin it every wave. 2. Trust earns the next wave. Grounding, boundaries, scope, checkpoints, audit. Engineered in week 1. So when agents arrive, you extend the model rather than rebuild it under pressure. The teams that engineered trust early run agent rollouts in months. The teams that didn't run them in years. 3. Cadence beats heroics. Quarterly capability review. Annual recharter. Always on platform team. The teams that schedule the energy outlast every model release. Heroics fade, rhythm holds. That is the playbook. 10 episodes, 1 platform. The work starts on Monday. And that is the series. 10 episodes, 1 playbook. From why AI adoption is different to sustaining and evolving with agents, and everything in between. The work starts on Monday. Vision, use cases, champions, fluency, trust, measurement, scale, and the next wave. Build the platform. Run the rhythm. Thank you for joining the 10-week journey. If the series helped you see this rollout differently, share it with the person who runs adoption in your organization. Subscribe so you don't miss what we make next. And if you take one thing from these 10 episodes, take this. Adoption is not a project. It is a platform. The teams that build the platform compound for 10 years. The teams that ship a project ship once. Go run the playbook. See you on the next series.